Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosie Sun from University of Adelaide, Australia. So glad to present our paper, an empirical assessment of global COVID-19 contact tracing applications. So our motivation is quite simple. Because the rapid spread of COVID-19, which has made the traditional manual contact tracing very challenging, and a number of public health authorities have started the digital contact tracing. However, these apps have raised the security and the privacy concerns, so that we start an assessment on such apps. So the main contribution of our work is first we develop a COVIDGuard, a tool that first automated security and privacy assessment that can test the contact tracing apps. And we assess 40 worldwide Android contact tracing apps and identify 4 major privacy and security threats against contact tracing apps. And we also conduct a user study involving more than 300 participants to investigate the users' concerns and their requirements. We disclose our security and privacy assessment to the stakeholders and luckily to see they fix the bugs. So generally speaking, there are mainly 2 kinds of the contact tracing applications. The first one is centralized and the other one is decentralized. So the main difference, shortly speaking, the main difference between the centralized and the decentralized system is whether the matching of the diagnosed user's information is happened on the server or on the user's phone locally. And in our security assessment, we assess the 40 apps which are listed on the table on the left. And on the right table is the test items that we assessed, which including the manifest weaknesses and the security vulnerabilities, the PII leaks. PII here means the personal identifiable data, and the malware detection. So the key idea is first, we do a pre-processing, that is, look into the decompiled Android APKs and to search about the which variable may contains the PII data. And the next step, we will start the analysis, including the code analysis, which we will find the manifest weaknesses and also the security vulnerabilities via static analysis. And the next step is the data flow analysis, which is actually a taint analysis to check whether there are PII data, which may potentially leaked from the sinks. Then the last step is the malware detection using an online tool, scanning the malware. So here goes our results. We found that more than half of the apps contain the issues such as the risky cryptography algorithm, may incorrectly use the permissions and maybe allow the clear text storage, and even allow backup, which means that malicious users could back up the data from the app. And the result about the PII leaks, we found that the top sources of sensitive data may leak from the location and the database, and leak to the bundle surveys and output stream. And for example, some apps even transmit the location information through the MSS messages, which means that other apps could also visit the message box and obtain such PII data. So 9 months after we disclose our findings to the developers, we rechecked the new versions of contact tracing apps. We found that some apps fixed the issues and removed the trackers, and also some app has been removed from the Google Play Store. We're very glad to see this, but still there are some new vulnerabilities found in the new versions, which means that the urgency of app developments may impact quality assurance procedures during the development. And in the privacy risk evaluation, we first define 2 potential attacks which may against the contact tracing apps. The first one is the leakage attack by the server, which means if there is a central server collects users' information and the attackers or even the server itself may leak data to some malicious point. And the second one is the linkage attack by users, which may mainly caused by the information exchange between users, so that a malicious user may receive the tokens from other users, and he may also log additional information such as the day, the time, duration, and location that he met this user. After he receives an at-risk message from the server, he may check the log and know who has been diagnosed. The third point is the false positive claims. That is, a malicious user may falsely claim that he has got infected, but actually not to the server, and the server may send fake alert message to other users. The last one is a relay attack, which mainly happens on the solutions that based on Bluetooth exchange, so that a malicious user may record the beacon broadcasting and transmit it to another city, and they broadcast it again to the users in that city. Then the users in that city may receive some fake alarm or false positive alarms. We further evaluated user privacy exposure in 5 levels. The first one is secure. That means no data is shared between a server or user. And the medium level means that non-PII data has been shared. The high-risk level PII is shared with the server or even released to public. So we evaluate about 27 apps according to its description and functionalities. And last, we did a user study, which involved more than 300 volunteers in Australia. And we focus on the age group, young age group. Before this survey starts, we present 4 types of privacy scenarios to them, which are the combination of centralized, decentralized, and the PII data collected or non-PII data collected. Use questionnaires with all 5-point likelihood scale questions using pencil and paper or online survey. We mainly asking questions about the likelihood of using contact tracing apps and their concerns about the use of contact tracing apps. The user study results shows that the privacy design and also the accuracy will influence the likelihood of user of their willingness to use the contact tracing apps. And also about their concerns, the users are mainly concerned about the privacy issues and also the accuracy, which can be shown, seen from the 3 figures above. So an interesting point is if PII data is collected, users may prefer a centralized solution. So in the future, we would like to examine Bluetooth low energy and network traffic of the contact tracing apps and examine any vulnerabilities associated with iOS contrast. Okay, thank you all.
Hello, everyone. We are here with one of the authors of our second presentation in this section, Ruoxi Sun. And Ruoxi has done some work with COVID-19 contact tracing apps as well, and he will be happy to answer questions from the audience. Please start typing your questions on the chat so that Ruoxi can clarify any issues. While we wait, Roxy, for some of the audience to type the questions, I have a question for you. Yeah. Do you believe you could expand, or do you have already thought about this, of using your COVID Guardian application to support other types of applications that are not only contact tracing apps?
Yes. Actually, it's available also generalized to all kinds of Android apps. Yeah, not only focus on the COVID-19, but as our research focus on this, so we use this to actually develop this tool to analyze the security and the privacy. Yeah.
Okay, but have you done any evaluation already? You know, the apps and.
Yeah, actually, continually using this tool on our new research. Yeah, which will focus on other categories of apps. Yeah.
Okay. And are the issues that you are encountering similar?
No. Yes. Because the adoption rate could be very large. I mean, there are a huge population will use the contact tracing apps. So even a very small or a small issue will be enlarged. Yeah. So we first focus on the COVID-19 apps. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And as it's open source, so everyone can try it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Yes. And I think we wait a little bit more for questions from the audience. Let's see. Yeah, we have a question from Tom Welsh. Tom is asking, is it appropriate to simply divide these apps by decentralized and centralized? As it seems that decentralization affects different subcomponents, so this may not represent the complete pictures. Good question, Tom.
Yes, very good question. But in our data set, we have analyzed about 40 apps. All of them can be, I think, is perfectly separated in these two categories. Yes, I think there could be some other category rather than the decentralized and the centralized. Yeah, but the amount of them could be rare. Yeah.
And have you thought of what could be other categories apart from this centralization and decentralization?
Yeah, I think in other papers, there are another category named as combined or something like this. They combine the decentralized and the centralized solution together. Yeah.
Okay.
But the amount of them are not very large, so we didn't collect such apps. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, they can also be analyzed in this way because they are combining of the centralized and decentralized. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything from the presentation that, okay, there is another comment here from Ari. Let's go back to Ari and I'll go back to my question after. The paper linked in the IEEE Digital Library seems to point to the artifact only. This is true, Ari. It happened to me as well. I could only find the full paper on ArchIV. So yes, but if you go to the main ICSI proceedings, you can find the paper under the session. For some reason, what is on the archive is really digital library is only the artifact 2 pages.
Yeah, and so, this is the correct link to archive. Yeah, that's the full paper. Yeah.
Yes. What I was going to say is, while we wait for other questions, if there were things in your presentation that you could not pass because of the time restriction, if you want to use this time also to clarify anything, please feel free.
Well, I think my video is under the 10 minutes limit. Yeah. So I inform the operation. I think it's all in the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to remind everyone that after the Q&A, Ruoxi will be available on the discussion room for those that would like to talk to him face-to-face, virtually face-to-face. -face. to face. Okay. And perhaps it will be also be good for the authors of these two first presentations to get together and discuss, because there are lots of similarities between the work. So maybe you guys can try to find each other and discuss about the work. Ari has a question. Just out of curiosity, as a Dutch, I installed the official Corona Melder app. Your paper lists the Corona Radar 4NL. Do you know how these are related?
Well, I don't know about the Corona Melder. Maybe this is a new app after our collection, or maybe later than our research. So we collect the app. Yeah. Yeah. COVID radar. Are they the same app but just different name? We have found some apps rename in different, has different name in different versions. Yeah.
Okay. But they can also be different, have different features. Since they change the name, they may change the features.
Yeah. So we just follow the package name, because every app has a unique package name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they are different actually.
Yeah, just have a Google search. Yeah, I think they are different. Yeah.
Okay. Corona Melder is actually the Bluetooth-based app supported by the government.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay, so I'd like to thank you, Roxy, and perhaps you should inform about the problem with your paper that is not the main paper. And there is a last question. How hard was it to understand the different details of the different countries if you don't speak the language?
Detail of the different countries. Actually, we refers to the description of the app on Google Play Store. Yeah, and try to visit their website